Welcome back to Live With. As the days tick to a close here at the end of 2015, I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and tonight's guest of the evening is IFBB men's physique superstar and our good friend, Jason Poston. Welcome back.
Thanks, Dave. It's always great to be on, especially during the holidays.
Exactly. You look a little like a cross between Grizzly Adams and Guy Cisternino. I almost thought it was Guy Cisternino, actually. What's with the beard?
Yeah, well, probably a little bit more the Grizzly Adams aspect. I know Guy, he grows his beard out religiously every year. And for me, I kind of get tired of doing, shaving all the body hair, looking picture perfect. And so, it's just something I like to do every November and December. I originally started for the charity, the Movember, grew out a mustache years ago. So now it's basically kind of just like a mindset thing to let go of the looks aspect, focus on training, focus on family, focus on, business, and don't worry about how much, how good you look. I know I look like like you said, like a grizzly bear, but hey, I'll be better in January. I'll be nice and clean cut for the LA Fit Expo.
So you're not trying to cover up the fat face off season. That's not the goal.
Well, that's a little bit of it too. I tend to get the rounded face. Everything else stays lean. I'm still 9% body fat, but I think my face gets like 20% body fat.
It could be the fact that, you are and we've mentioned this before, you're a type 1 diabetic, and we know that, off season, you got to use a little more insulin, and then obviously, you get the little bit of bloat going on. But, I hate guys like you, and this is no shot at you, but even in your off season, even with a beard, you still are a great looking guy. And I'm sure probably there's a population of people out there that think you look even better with the beard. So you could pull off any look you want. And that's just a testament to how good your marketing for your body is, in that sense. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on, because this time of year, Jason, is Arnold Classic time. You've done it last year. All the athletes tend to be getting ready for the show. The list was put out. They changed the format a little bit this year for men's physique, and they basically said, look, anyone who wants to enter could enter. If you make it through prejudging as one of the top 10 guys, you go on to the finals. You decided to opt out of the Arnold Classic this year. What was the impetus behind that decision?
Well, it started off with the diet and the preparation last year. It kind of was uncomfortable for me having to focus in December, during Christmas, and during New Year's and January on dieting. So I didn't feel comfortable doing that, but I did it because the Arnold is something you don't want to pass up the first time around. So this time around, after I did it, I felt like my mind wasn't 100% into it, like the Olympia or say like shows that I've done in April and May and June before. So this time in 2016, it came to me really easy. I thought about it for a while, and I consulted a few of mentors and people. And if your mind's not in something 100%, your heart's not into it, don't do it. And there's a whole bunch of things. We have a family ski trip in February. It's hard to go skiing when you're on keto diet. We also have a trip to Trinidad. I have a trip to Australia. Once again, there's the LA Fit Expo. So there's a lot of travel coming up, and I just don't know that, I could be my best. And I want to take the Arnold as serious as I take the Olympia. And, I don't know about the other guys out there, but maybe their schedule's a little more cleared up. But I'm just completely swamped in these early months of 2016.
Jason, do you feel that you're missing an opportunity here? Because let's face it, Sadiq Hadzovic not in the show. Jeremy Buendia, the Olympia champ, not in the show. Obviously, you're the next man rank-wise. This looks like a perfect opportunity for you to go home with an Arnold Classic victory, your first. What made you decide? That had to come into play. Do you feel like a little guilty maybe that you should be there?
Definitely. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. This was a hard decision for me. most days I'm thinking about it, and I start seeing the preparation come. I start seeing people post about it. I see, Muscle in the Morning posts about competitors training, and it is tough. But at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna feel great about it. In May when I compete, I'll be very well rested, and I anticipate just looking the best and bringing the best post into the stage possible. And at the Olympia, the same deal. Um, and then sometimes there's just stuff you have to do. I mean, I wish I could do every show. When I first started competing, I want to do every show because I'm a competitor. But you have to hold things back. It's a big balance. Being at the top of the IFBB is not about just compete and whether you win or lose. We all have lives. We all have a ton of stuff going on. So I'll be there. I'll be watching. I'll be biting my nails. I would have loved to compete against a couple of the guys there because there's two other of the guys in the top five competing, Ryan Terry and Brandon Henderson. So I would love to compete. I think it would have been between me and Ryan Terry, and with his abs, that's one of my goals is just to improve my midsection. So I think it would have been good to be there, but just can't do it.
Well, you still got till January 15th to make your final decision. What do you think about the new way that the Arnold is doing the men's and women's physique division, where they're allowing essentially a cattle call of people to come in? Anyone who wants to enter could enter. Only the top 10 making the finals and getting their trip reimbursed. Do you like that? You think it creates more opportunity, or do you like the more exclusive invitation system that they had last year?
I understand what they're doing, but I like the old way, the invitation only. I think they could have even done this a little different. In my opinion, I would have had maybe an open invite capped at 50, which is what they did. But then I would have still invited the contest winners, the people from different countries. I would have went ahead and done an invite for the top level physique guys instead of just making it like a free for all, a race to the mailbox. That kind of drew back my attention a little bit, just because I thought well, if I do diet, it might not be worth it to go and win a show that's just not as prestigious anymore. And as you can see, you've got the top three out this year. I think they could do some things to pull in Jeremy. They could have, Sadiq's doing a different division, but they could have done some things to entice more people. You also have like Anton Antipov and Matt Acton, some of your regular guys who I haven't seen on the list yet. So, but like you said, January 15th is a cutoff date. I didn't know that. So who knows?
9%. You're 9% body fat. I mean, all you got to do is cut your carbs back, and you're ready to get on stage already. So you never know with Jason Poston. My question for you though is, with the advent of this new division, Classic Physique, a lot of people thought, because we've had you in the studio, you've hit poses for us. You've taken your shirt off and hit back double biceps, and showed some terrific, incredible conditioning. A lot of people assumed that Jason Poston would go over to this new division the way Sadiq Hadzovic did. What made you decide to stick and stay with regular men's physique?
Really, it's not something that I've absolutely decided I'm going to stick with. We have a new division. That doesn't mean I have to go and jump in the new division right when they created it. I can sit back and see how they're going to judge it. I can continue the momentum that I've got going with physique. I can continue my goal of winning and becoming physique Mr. Olympia. But that doesn't mean I can't do classic physique as well. So I've been training these legs. I trained these legs hard yesterday. One of those crawling out of the gym sessions. So classic physique is a goal of mine, but I'm really big into maintaining your head and your focus straight on what your task is right now. So, I guess so your question was, why did I choose to stay? And the truth is, I haven't chosen to stay yet. I will compete in physique this year. but there's a chance that I might compete in classic physique as well.
Jason, what do you think the judges now will be looking for in men's physique? Will they look for a smaller, more compact guy? Will the look remain the same? And what will differentiate men's physique in your mind from classic physique as far as the way the bodies look?
I think, all I can speak about is what they've told they'd like, for me to bring to the stage. And it basically is going to be like not really pumping up as much, not carbing up as much. I've never been a big carb loader, but it can. There's different ways you can manipulate your appearance on stage rather than losing or gaining muscle. You can, if you look at some of my like modeling pictures and some of my clothes pictures, I could look very streamlined and very narrowed down. So if I don't pump up and I don't carb up, my look will be totally different. I still want to have that fullness and size. So what I'm going to do is bring back the package that I brought to a couple of my big wins, such as like the New York Pro, the Dallas Europa, basically 2014. I think I was about 4 or 5 pounds lighter, and we'll go with that package. But another thing is just I think what they're going to want to see in physique is just the tighter waistlines. Usually, the bigger you get, the bigger your waist gets as well. And so that's what they're trying to do is keep the waistline small. What's funny is I think if the waistline's small and the guy has epic shoulders and a wide V taper, he's still going to do well at physique. So they had told me just keep your waistline a little tighter and you'll be fine.
Now, Sadiq Hadzovic has that really, really small waistline, big, broad shoulders, a lot of muscle on his body. He's almost 200 pounds on stage. Do you think it's a good move for him to being the second guy out there to move into classic physique?
Well, I mean, if you measure waist, you got Jeremy with the smallest waist on stage, and the top 5 you probably got Ryan Terry, but his waist isn't smaller than mine. We could, I don't know, I guess if that's something competitive that people, but his weight, it's the way he turns, I think.
Right.
And he's actually like 187 on stage. I think you probably remember him saying that. He's not 200. He could maybe be 200 on stage if he didn't deplete as much, but I was probably 97, 198 on stage. Just the density of the muscle for some reason makes me heavier. But I think with classic physique, it's going to be interesting. Sadiq's got an incredible structure. So it's going to be interesting to see how grainy and dry they want these guys and the striations they want in the quads. That's all that matters to me is I know my legs are developing. My legs are getting bigger. They don't fit really in a lot of my jeans anymore, so I know that's good. But really, how striated are they going to want these quads? How are they going to want to see feathered, the feathered quads? Are they really going to measure like the epic calves that they've seen in bodybuilding? I'm very curious. That's why I'm not jumping into classic physique immediately. I think, if my heart was more passionate about it, I would just go and do it. But because I am 50-50, I'm going to watch and see how guys like Sadiq do. I'm really excited about a buddy of mine, Anthony Perez, A-Train on Instagram. A lot of people follow him for his training techniques. His body is incredible. And I really want to see how these bodybuilders do that come out of the woodworks. The middleweights, the light heavyweights. There's definitely not going to be any supers from NPC, pro card guys that come down. But it's going to be interesting to see who's winning these shows because everyone's talking about physique guys. I want to see where are the bodybuilders at that weren't able to get up into the super heavyweight range to compete.
Interesting. I'm excited to see this new division. It's obviously something that I've been advocating for. I feel like the guys like yourself and Sadiq, and there's a whole bunch of other guys, and even like you said, some of the middleweight, lightweight, welterweight guys in bodybuilding. they have that beautiful, streamlined look. They got the small waist. They got great muscle definition and separation, and they just don't have a division to compete in. The 212 division in the pro ranks is not an alternative because those guys are tanks as well. They're just short tanks. So this is a real great opportunity, I think, and I think it's a nice evolution. You can start in men's physique and evolve into this other class. It gives you some place to go because I think even you were starting to experience a little bit of this. At some point, you just want to grow more because, that's what bodybuilding is about. And if you start getting too big, you kind of grow out of men's physique. Now you kind of have a place to go. Which division do you think will be more marketable to the general population?
Physique will remain there. I think men's physique will remain more marketable just because it is a more attainable look. The most attainable look is going to be what people are going to strive for first. When they become elite and when they start putting on more muscle, the longer you live life as a bodybuilder, the more you start to look like a bodybuilder. It's only been maybe 5 years training like a bodybuilder. I always wanted to be one, but I played too many sports. I was too active. I did a lot of things that were just like a physique guy. You can put on the muscle, you can achieve the 3D look, you can achieve the classic structure. But if you want to be a classic physique or a bodybuilder, you've got to add up just year after year after year after year. I mean, it's a huge marathon type lifestyle. And whether you ever get there, you don't know. And but with physique right now, I think these guys can attain this. I attained it from, I was sick and there's a whole bunch of other things, but I attained it in about 1 year. Less than that, I went pro. So that you're not going to see that as much, but these guys can go pro in 2 years at the physique level. Classic physique, I don't know. I mean, we're just guessing here, but I'd say 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years of lifting. You might, and genetics as well. And then bodybuilding, you've got to get in there like Cody Montgomery. He's a freak, but you've got to get in there young, and you can become a professional bodybuilder hopefully in your late 20s. So you got it about 10 years. And then and then from there, that's when you continue to build. So I think it's just, if you look at it more as time put in, people can put in less time and achieve something really cool with physique. They can put in a little bit less time, but still it's going to take an effort at classic physique. So that's why I think, and the truth is you can just fit better in clothes. So as far as style, as far as general mainstream products, promoting teeth whitening and socks and belts and jeans, all this different stuff that I get emails about, you can still do that with a lighter physique.
Jason, who's the hardest training men's physique pro out there?
The hardest training men's physique pro. Oh, man. That I've personally trained with. He's going to jump into classic physique, but I'm going to go back to Anthony Perez. Okay. People, a lot of comments, a lot of our followers are always asking us to collab on YouTube. That's the cool new thing. I don't know if you know that, Dave, but people talking about, I get to collab with so-and-so this weekend. I get to collab with Johnny Styles this Friday. Whatever. You're collabing with your gym buddy from across the nation or the world to create a cool YouTube video for all the fans and followers out there. So he trains hard. I know I train hard. When I have to add in what I have to deal with for the diabetes, it really adds a whole nother element with the food aspect. So there's a lot of guys. They all train hard, but I'd have to put Anthony Perez up there as number one just because the dude can lift some serious weight.
I got to figure out who I can collab with this week. Maybe Sid and I can collab this weekend, or maybe I'll collab with my wife who's pregnant in the gym. That might be a more popular video. Now,
yeah, it might be.
Let me ask you this question, Jason. A lot of people, have a certain, I guess you could say, opinion of who you are and what you're about. What would you say is the most misunderstood thing about you that's out there? Maybe that people think a certain way, but it's not the truth.
I don't get a lot of the negative feedback, but you do see it every now and then. It's just the way social media is. I mean, if you're interactive, you're going to see everyone's stuff, the good and the bad. So, um, I probably have to say that insulin. People think that because I take insulin as a type 1 diabetic, they think that I have an advantage. These are usually, I would have to guess, not your smartest people in the world, because anyone who knows their stuff can understand that insulin is an anabolic that unfortunately people do take at certain levels to get enhance their growth. But when you take a drug every single day, it doesn't have the same effect at putting on muscle. So people see my body, they see my conditioning, they see what I bring to the table on stage, and then some people will comment and say, "Oh, like, well, if I got to take insulin, I'd be like that too," or "Oh, he must manipulate his carbs." And there might be an advantage if I go keto and I go low carb for week after week, and then you can have a couple high carb days once you create sensitivity to the insulin. But if you're talking about getting growth out of going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, um, extremely low carb, maybe 50 grams of carbs or less, just so you can get a benefit Saturday, one day a week only of shuttling carbs into your body. That's not too much of an advantage. I'd rather have it the other way. And it's kind of frustrating because, it is a disease. And so I get a little disheartened when I see people are you know, just can be so, it's kind of cruel. It's like you're taking someone's, how they've become successful at something, and you're trying to find an excuse why they're doing better than you.
It's sad that people, would see your disease, which is really a burden on you. I mean, you have to test your blood sugar 6,000 times a day. You have to take insulin every day. It's something that will, more than likely be with you for the rest of your life unless a cure comes about. And people are just negative. They spin everything. They want to look for a reason why you're better than they are, and that to me is so negative, and it's a shame. And I'm glad you brought it up, because it is an important point. Sometimes people forget that you are a type 1 diabetic, that this is something that you live with 24/7 every day of your life. And I'm sure if you could trade and get rid of it, you would do it in 3 seconds, So I think it's pretty brave and bold for you to, make that statement and prove that even with that disease that you can achieve the level of physique development that you have. Now, moving forward into 2016, where do you see yourself competing this coming year? I'm sure you have some kind of a schedule set up in your mind.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited about this year. Just getting a little bit more rest from January to March. Um, it looks like I'll get about 2 or 3 more months rest than 2015. So I'll start off the year in May. Um, I'll definitely be doing the Pittsburgh Pro, and from there, I think I'm going to add a few other shows. My goal, really, what I want to do is what I did in 2014: hit a string of shows, come in with some crazy momentum. Whoever wins the Arnold, they're gonna get the momentum. Like we said earlier, that's gonna be something that I have to deal with by not doing the Arnold. But if I can come back, win maybe a string of 4 shows, maybe even beat the record that I hold of the amount of shows won in a year, which is 4. If I can win 5 shows all in a clump, and still get the rest time in the summer, and then go into Olympia, I think that'll just get your mind right. You got to get your head right. You got everything's got to be on point. But I think that'll be really cool, and plus just be fun to try to beat my own record, and a goal next to the goal. I mean, you want to win every show, but why? There's also other goals of why you want to win shows as well.
Of the evening here. Can you beat Jeremy Buendia come September?
Yes.
Why?
I look at the video footage, I look at the pictures, and I get feedback. And we haven't had a physique champion that has been completely dominant like a Phil Heath. as close as Kai and Phil has been, you still get so many one-sided, and it's been different years, but Phil is untouchable. He's reached that, you even have people commenting like he's not going to get beat. I mean, they look at him as, I think they talk about other competitors just to keep the division in talks that someone possibly could lose. It's good for the sport. But with Physique, it's definitely it's very, very close. As the minute we got off stage, Jim Mannion had told us how close it was, especially between 2 and 3. A couple of judges had told me they had me at second place due to Sadiq's lack of abs. So, I knew I was close to taking Jeremy. I think the practicing posing, should I do Olympia? I think that, working on the stage presence, everything that I've taken in from some people that they give me great advice, I think I just really it's really right there. It's just a matter of tightening the waistline a little bit and practicing posing. But Jeremy, when he stands sideways, he has this unique look that the judges absolutely love and I love. I mean, it's a great look. But when we stand straight forward, I think that I could really, really show that my V-taper is improved even more, that my midsection has improved. I think that's Jeremy's downfall, and especially and from the back too. I really want to get my back to where it just stands out, like more than any other show. So yeah, it's definitely in the grass, and I think it's in the grass for other people too. I'm worried about a couple guys behind me, and that's what's just cool about Physique is that it is tight. You haven't seen the same top 5 in any Olympia yet.
Thank you for once again stopping by live with and filling us in on what you got going on in your life. And best of luck in the future. And I'm sure you'll be on plenty of times before you compete again. And have fun on your skiing trip. Don't get hurt.
Appreciate it, Dave. Yeah, just capping off, it's just going to be a busy 2016. I'll be at the LA Fit Expo in January. Then we'll go on to Trinidad a week later. I'm going there with Pro Sups. Trinidad it's basically their Mardi Gras festival, but they also have a fitness festival going on. You guys wait for footage of that. We're wearing some very unique outfits. I think you guys will get a kick out of the outfits. It's like Conan the Barbarian kind of. You're like required to wear it though.
That's all right. You'll pull it off. And I see a lot of our fans in our live YouTube chat box have been saying that you were robbed at the Olympia. So that's kind of nice that you have a great fan swell that's in your favor and believe that you might have been the true Olympia champ in September. So I'm sure you'll carry that momentum and that feel good into next year's Olympia. And like I said, I'm a fan of you. RxMuscle has always been a big supporter of you. And thanks for coming on the show again.
Thank you so much, Dave. I'll talk to you soon. Good luck with the new kid coming.
Any day now. All right. Well, that takes us to the end of another episode of Live With. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.